pass rushers in your career, starting with Lawrence Taylor, Reggie White. Does Mack sort of rank up there with one of the better ones you've seen?
Oh, I mean, we're talking about Lawrence Taylor now. Yeah, I'm not putting anybody in Lawrence Taylor's class, so you put everybody down below that. That's with a lot of respect to a lot of good players now, but we're talking about Lawrence Taylor.
Okay, Shannon, what do you make of those comments from Belichick?
Skip, I'm surprised. Knowing the coach Belichick that I know that's covered him for the last 10, 15 years, he normally goes out of his way to heap praise on the other team's best players, be it wide receiver, running back, defensive player, no matter what the position he plays. If he's a great player, Coach Belichick goes out of his way to heap praise on him.
Yeah.
What I can't understand is that, Skip, they just asked him a simple question. They didn't ask him to compare Mack to LT. They asked, they said, Coach Belichick, you've been in this league for a while. You've seen some of the great pass rushers. They also mentioned Reggie White. So he's seen Reggie. Obviously, he coached LT. He saw the Derek Thomases, the Bruce Smith, and some of the other greats. That's what they're asking. How does he rank? Does he rank favorable? We're talking about LT here. I'm like, that wasn't what they asked you. Do you think, does he rank favorable to some of the all-time greats? Now, I think what he's trying to do, Skip, you might get mad. You might think I'm right. He might be trying to, he heard Brady on Monday again, or Tuesday, say he's going to play till he's 45. Well, he get Khalil Mack riled up.
Maybe.
Khalil Mack go do what he's supposed to do.
Belichick is capable of that.
I'm just joking.
Well, I don't know.
I'm just joking. Here's the thing. Obviously, LT is an all-time great, Skip, and I believe he's the greatest defensive player to have ever stepped foot in the NFL. I can make a case he's the greatest NFL player.
Wow.
But Coach Belichick has really never had any problem. Now, just 2 years ago, he was playing the Houston Texans. They asked him about J.J. Watt. He says, I don't put a whole lot of people in the same conversation with LT, but J.J. Watt deserves to be in the conversation with LT. Those are what he said. Now, nobody deserves to be in the conversation. We know what LT great, and a lot of times, Skip, I think because of what LT did, some of the things that he did off the field when he was playing, and now that once he retired, a lot of the things it diminishes, well, it doesn't diminish it, but it casts a doubt of how you perceive him. But yes, LT changed the game. He made two positions famous. He made the left tackle famous because you had to have one, because if you couldn't block him, you couldn't beat them, meaning the Giants. And he made that position the position he played, the rush linebacker. So everybody wanted a Khalil Mack, a Von Miller, a Derek Thomas, or Cornelius Bennett. All these guys you see was because of LT. So until, and this is why I can't put defense, until you go says, okay, I don't see a guy, the AFC running to get guards to try to block J.J. Watt. I don't see teams trying to go get defensive tackles to mimic J.J. Watt. That's what teams did. Minnesota Vikings got Gary Zimmerman. The Rams went and got Irv Eatman. The Redskins, Washington, they got Joe Jacoby and traded for Jim Lachey because they said, we can't block this guy.
That's correct.
That's what Joe Gibbs changed his entire offense. He added the H back. He said, because we can't do anything with him. He's wrecking us. That's what LT was. But, Skip, all the reporter asked him, does Khalil Mack compare favorable to some of the great pass rushers that you've encountered in your time in the NFL? It was a simple question. They didn't ask him, is he LT? Is he better than LT? Do you see? That's all they asked. So I don't understand why he got so upset at the line of question.
I don't either, but there's always method to his madness. He does not speak without thinking. He does not look before he leaps. He anticipated that question, and he said exactly what he had planned to say. Now, the MO of that, what's the you know, what's he trying to pull off there? That's up for debate. I'm going to tell you what my opinion is. Neither J.J. Watt nor Khalil Mack belong in the same conversation with Lawrence Taylor. They just don't. Neither one of them do. If I just go off eye test, I'm talking about watching TV, which player leaps more, which player do I see change the game more? Khalil Mack changes the game more than J.J. Watt does. That's just me. And I'm going to point out to everybody, J.J. has had the luxury since 2014 of having Jadeveon Clowney either opposite him or across from him or wherever he lines up, because J.J. moves all over the line. But Jadeveon Clowney was the first pick in the draft. And the other night, you know, 2 Sunday nights ago, Dallas at Houston, the guy I'm just hiding my eyes for is Jadeveon. He's the one who's terrorizing my quarterback.
Right.
Not JJ. JJ got there a couple times, but not like Jadeveon did. And Whitney Merciless, he was a late first-round pick. He has 38.5 career sacks.
Yeah.
Well, he's in there. He's in the mix, too.
Right.
Does that not make it a little easier for JJ Watt?
Because you got 2 other guys that can also
Two
get
other
home.
guys. So Khalil Mack has basically been doing it by himself as just that pure Von Miller Memorial edge rusher, just flying off the edge.
Look at Oakland.
Yeah.
They have no pass
nothing.
rush now that he's
But
gone.
Bruce Irvin can have his moments, but again, it was mostly Khalil Mack or bust.
Right.
Okay, now what am I reading into what Belichick said? I just don't think he respects Khalil Mack. And I don't think John Gruden respected Khalil Mack. And I'm going to give both the coaches this much. Because I've watched a lot of Khalil Mack, and 2 years ago, I really liked the Raiders to rise up and win the wild card when we were going back and forth on the show. So I'm rooting for him all year. There would be games when he would drive me crazy because he doesn't play max hard every play. I don't know, does J.J. Watt give max effort every play? You can make the case. But the point is, Khalil will have stretches of disappearing act. And at New Orleans, against New Orleans last week, he said he had a bad ankle, but he just drifted out of sight.
Right.
You know?
But and the thing
I'm sorry, at Miami. I'm
Right.
thinking of Miami, not New Orleans.
Khalil, the thing is that if you look at his body type, he probably reminds you most of LT because they're built very similar.
They are.
Both guys can hold the edge, and in the 3-4 defense, which LT played his entire career, is that you must maintain integrity by keeping your outside arm free. You weren't getting around the edges on LT. He wasn't going to let it happen. But what he also could do is that he loved chasing the play down from behind.
Yep.
And your quarterback, Skip, I mean, the way he could just rag the... Like I said, it would be hard for him to play now, because think about this. Reggie had 198.5 sacks. Bruce is over 200. Can you imagine if they threw the ball back then like they throw now, Skip, and guys had the opportunity to rush the quarterback then like they do now?
Yeah.
Back then, you know, everybody wanted to run the football. Everybody said, look, bring your defense, bring your run game, you can go far. Now everybody's like, okay, we're going to throw the ball short passes because you have a better chance of getting a first down if you throw it 3 times than you do if you run it, Skip. Because the pass interference, the holding calls, the roughing the pass on the quarterback. It used to be, man, so many things could go wrong if you throw the football. Now, so many things can go right if you throw the football. But I didn't understand because I had to go back and listen to the video, too. I was like, well, maybe the guy asked for a comparison between Khalil Mack and LT. And then when I heard it, the guy said, well, let me hear it again. He's like, does Khalil Mack rank favorable to some of the all-time great rushers that you've seen? He's like, we're talking about LT. Yeah, we know LT, what LT represents. But I just didn't get why he got so upset. Now, we know how he loves LT. LT swears by Coach Belichick. I know LT a little bit, got to know him a lot since I've been in the Hall of Fame with him. But, Skip, he's the guy that I didn't get a chance to play with him because in '92 when we played him, he was a shell of himself and he was hurt. But, Skip, I watched him. I took him off on tape. Skip, he's the baddest thing I've ever seen. Nobody could do what he could do.
Nobody.
He was, when they say he a grown man, he was a grown, fully grown man,
Plus,
Skip.
he played with rage every down.
Every play.
Yep.
And remember, when LT first got to the league, the sack wasn't an official stat. To give you some context, Skip, LT, Bradley Chubb is a rookie. Imagine Bradley Chubb winning Defensive Player of the Year. Not Defensive Rookie of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year. That's what LT did in his rookie season when the sack was not an official stat. And he won MVP.
And he had a signature play on Monday Night Football, unfortunately, at the expense of one Joe Theismann because he broke his leg.
And he started the strip sack. LT said it wasn't enough to get the quarterback. He said, I want the ball too. So he started the chop. So every time you see the quarterback now, what are guys trying to do? They come with the chop, trying to get the ball out. That's LT. He's special. And I just don't know where Coach Belichick was going with this. Maybe he knows that he's hurt. He's like, you know, I'm going to get him riled up. Maybe he put that thump on Tom and get him out my hair since he's
I
coming
just think Belichick loves him some J.J. Watt because he's a coach's dream and he's a great guy off the field and he stands for all the right things. And every time he has played against J.J. Watt, he's tried to almost butter him up with
Well, shit, he should have LT. Because LT never did the right thing off the field.
I'm saying.
even when
I know.
he was there. LT
All
slept.
he did was win championships.
Yes,
right?
sleep in meetings,
So if you go back 2 years ago to when we first started this show, remember, JJ had won Defensive Player of the Year 3 times at that point,
Right.
12, 14, and 15. And
Right.
then there was the NFL Players Ranking vote, and I believe he ranked #1, and you agreed with
Yes.
that. You said he's the best player in
Yes.
football
Yeah.
above the quarterbacks. And I'm like, he just can't be better than a quarterback. So I continue to track his impact on his team. So now JJ Watt, in the games that he has played in, is 49 and 45. Is that all his fault? They haven't had quarterbacks
Right.
for much of that time. He's 2-3 in the postseason. I don't know. I never see it. Like, my eye test never says, oh, that guy just took the whole game over.
Well,
where it's all about.
But he can't skip. He can't wreck a game. But there's a distinction that needs to be made. You can be the best player, but not be the most important or most valuable player. I believe J.J. Watt was the best NFL player the last year he won Defensive Player of the Year. But a defensive player can never be more important than a Brady or a Breeze or an Aaron Rodgers, because they don't touch the ball every single play. And if I want to, I can take you out of the game. I can double you, I can triple you, and make sure you're neutralized. What can I do with the quarterback? Because he's going to get the ball. You can't keep the ball out of his hands. So being the best player and being the most valuable or the most important player are distinctions that we need to make. I do believe that when they voted, J.J. Watt was the best player. Was he more important to his team than a quarterback? Absolutely not.
So the weirdest stat of all on J.J. Watt is that the 1 year he played only 3 games, which was 2016, going back 2 years ago, that was the year the Houston defense led the NFL in fewest yards allowed, and he only played 3 games. Well, how do you figure that? I don't know. I'm just not sure he has the impact that, well, obviously, Lawrence Taylor just impacted every game. He was the reason they were winning championships. Charles Haley in Dallas was a reason that they should have won 4 straight championships.
Well, I think the thing is, and those guys had impact once they got to the playoffs. We saw J.J. his rookie year against Cincinnati. He intercepts the ball and goes back. We're just waiting for him to have that signature game, especially at this juncture of his career, that gets them over the hump. We've seen LT do it. We've seen some of the other greats do it. But like I said, I don't know what Coach Belichick, when he's been so effusive in his praise, Skip, of other greats, regardless of position. So this is, like you said, there's normally a method to his madness, but this is out of character for Coach Belichick when describing another great player.
I just don't think he has that much respect for Khalil Mack, and he wanted to make that known.
I want to make sure he heard the message before the game, which I think he might have heard him.
Okay, Brady, watch out.
We're going to head back to the NBA because expectations are high for the Rockets this season, but they got off to a terrible start to their season. They were blown out at home by the Pelicans, 131-112. Anthony Davis led the way with 32. Carmelo